What's up, YouTube? It's Jada Gray and I'm back with another video talking about Tupac's lovers. Tupac was arguably one of the greatest rappers of all time. Tupac was one of the most influential rappers in the 90s, and his music still lives on. Tupac was a poet and a great actor. He was talented, confident, charismatic, and very intelligent. However, he was also loved by the most popular and beautiful women in his era. We will deep dive into his love life. But before we get into the video, please like, comment, and subscribe to enjoy more of my content. Tupac and Yo-Yo. Before Pac became a solo artist, he was with Digital Underground in the early 90s. Yo-Yo, a female artist from the West Coast, she has a song with NWA, You Can't Play With My Yo-Yo. She met Pac in the studio in the early 90s and later on tour doing concerts. It was on tour they began to form a close relationship. Yo-Yo and Tupac established a great friendship where they discussed music, family, friends, their insecurities, his appreciation for the arts, and more. They started as friends, then began dating, but then became sexual partners. But they stopped being intimate and left it with being platonic or like bro and sis. However, Yo-Yo wanted something different. Tupac and Yo-Yo ended the relationship because, as she stated in an interview, "I wanted to be free." She didn't want to be tied down just yet. Her career had just started, of course, and Pac's career. Yo-Yo stated in an interview that she had just introduced herself to the industry and she just wanted to be free, and that's why Tupac and her ended the relationship. According to her, they had a good relationship up until he died. Tupac and Madonna. Madonna was one of the biggest pop stars during the 80s and 90s. She was very successful and controversial at the same time. Tupac met Madonna at the Soul Train Awards in 1993. A mutual friend of theirs, Rosie Perez, a well-known actress, hooked them up. Tupac made Madonna feel like a gangster. In an interview, Snoop stated Tupac pulled up on him with Madonna to give him weed at Saturday Night Live. She had dropped the F-bomb on live television because, as she states, Tupac had got me all riled up about life in general. Because the relationship between Madonna and Tupac was a secret at the time, there aren't a lot of public details about their romance. In fact, Madonna didn't confirm that they even dated until 2015. Pac broke it off with Madonna in fear of letting down the black community. He wrote a letter to her ending the relationship. He wrote this letter while being locked up. Tupac and Keisha Morris. Keisha Morris is an actress. She also went to college and earned her Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice. Tupac and her met at a nightclub in New York. The two had a brief discussion but didn't start seeing each other until a month later. Tupac remembered who she was and remembered their discussion and offered to take her out. They dated for a year before he got locked up. When Pac got locked up, the two got married. They got married April 29, 1995. Keisha would handle his business for him while he was in prison. She's the one who helped Pac get in contact with Suge Knight and got signed to death row. Tupac, in my opinion, would be disrespectful because he would call Keisha to phone other women and would ask questions he should only ask his former wife. While being married to Keisha Morris, Tupac was sending letters to Madonna breaking up with her and sending letters to Desiree Smith. They got an annulment. Keisha stated in an interview, "My lawyer told me it was best for me to get an annulment because I was concerned about court cases and tax situations. I just didn't want to be responsible or get sued for anything. I didn't want to be responsible for anything that happened before me." After the annulment, Keisha said that they still kept in touch up until his death. Keisha stated in her interview that it was like any other normal relationship. We argue like everyone else. Tupac and Kidada Jones. Kidada Jones is an actress, model, fashion designer. Kidada works as a designer for Walt Disney Company, where she has her own line called Kidada for Disney Couture. She is the daughter of legendary recording producer Quincy Jones. In 1993, Tupac wrote an article dissing Quincy Jones for having a biracial family. Rashida, Quincy Jones' other daughter, responded to Tupac, defending her family. Tupac soon after tried apologizing. One night at a club in New York, Kidada and Pac encounter each other. Pac goes up to Kidada thinking she's Rashida and was apologizing about the article he had wrote about her dad. Kidada was in her head saying, "Oh my God, he is so cute," as she stated in the interview. The two eventually grew close. Tupac soon apologized to Quincy Jones as well. Quincy accepted his apology and Pac was welcomed into the Jones family. Kidada and Tupac had plans on getting married, but those plans came to an end on September 13, 1996. Tupac died from multiple gunshot wounds from a drive-by in Las Vegas. Kidada wrote in her father's autobiography, "Tupac was the love of my life. He and I lived together for 4 months, and then he was murdered in Las Vegas in 1996. It was the most horrible thing that ever happened to me." Kidada was one of the last people to speak to Tupac before he entered a coma. "Do you know I love you?" Kidada said to him as he's laying in the hospital bed. Tupac has some alleged lovers in the industry, women in the industry as well. Mary J. Blige, Faith Evans, Jasmine Guy, Karen Parsons, Jada Pinket Smith, Sally Richardson, and many more. I came to the conclusion that Tupac was partially a player and partially a womanizer. Just looking at the interviews, doing the research, what he said in his songs was true. I Get Around song, he was speaking facts. Tupac was speaking facts. Whatever he was saying in his songs, he was doing it. He was doing it. But Pac was all over the place. He made every woman that I named feel special, feel like he's the love of my life. Like all I've been reading is he's the love of my life, and that's what everybody said. I loved him. He made me feel like a princess. All this and that. It's just, he made every woman feel special that he's been with. All right, guys. Well, that wraps up the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe.